And the two of you, what brings you to this lovely city?
Are you just talking to me? Just
The two of you.
there's three of us.
But he doesn't know necessarily about Clarice, right?
Oh,
Did you say? Oh, you're saying that officially.
Oh.
Okay. I only see two.
I'm like, when we first met, you found me kind of strange. I thought you knew. I'm cursed blood. And I have a conjoined twin, Clarice, my sister. She's joining us at the table as we speak. She likes tacos. As he lifts up his shirt to expose the gnarled maw.
My good sir, are you familiar with a hydra? Everybody here?
Like the animal hydra? Yeah.
Uh,
I was young, I needed the money.
does the hydra consider itself one or many?
I've never asked a hydra.
What would happen if each head decided to go a different direction?
Be interesting, but they only have one body.
So are they one or are they many?
It's a good question, but if I say I'm only one, Clarice is going to get mad. And even though you can't hear her, she's going to yell at me all day. So I have to announce that she is here with us.
Would you like to not hear her?
No, I would not. Because she's my sister, and I still love her as much as a pain in the ass as she is.
And what is it then that brought the two of you here, other than your single pair of legs?
Exactly. Well, I was helping out my friend here, and we came across these two, and now we happen to be here. I lead a pretty simple life up to this point, living in the marshes, hiding from stuff, eating raw rabbits, stuff like that. You know, trying to find my way in life. Trying to figure out my parents, stuff like that.
Delivering a letter.
Yeah, you know, some minor things, you know. I might have a hag employer, but...
You do delivery?
Sometimes. Uber Eats. You know, again, needed the money.
And what for you is a reward?
Seeing the sunlight every morning. Being alive.
Power. Strength. Might.
I like the contrast between answers.
Above board, refresh my memory. Did you introduce yourself to Lanczos, or
No,
are you still just a bugbear to him? I know you said hi to somebody recently, like from the tongue.
No,
was
not
it
you.
Him, right? Okay.
Also, above board, can I go to the bathroom again? Because I drank a lot of coffee.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll be right back. Don't get into anything without me too much.
Oh, no, don't worry.
Yeah, no, he thought we were weird, so I thought he just knew, but I didn't say anything to him.
Okay.
Yeah, again, same with me, because he looked at me
Well,
and said,
look at the two of you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a common thing in the city to see that. You seek power.
Yes.
For what purpose?
The strength to do as my deity commands.
As a bugbear, which deity do you serve?
The almighty, beautiful, wonderful, glorious deity of love.
Well, that is an interesting revelation.
yeah, she's like a 6. I wouldn't say a 10, but yeah.
Party conflict already over how hot is Lol.
It wasn't egregious enough to inspire combat, but she's been having a bad day, and you're not. You're supposed to be my traveling partner. Okay, we're fine
So,
for now.
what? What could I do to convince you to assist me? How could I make your assistance to me help you achieve your goals? For either of you.
Oh, I thought you were still talking.
Before there's no instant power up potions in this world.
I mean, you are talking to an archmage.
Yeah, okay. Potions to increase strength and constitution.
Do you want to remain the size you were at? Do you want to actually be larger?
My size is not the issue. Also, because I don't think that would work. As a parasite hosting.
There's so above
Yeah,
board.
I don't think I could host something if I was suddenly human size.
If you were human sized, your hosting of that thing would be pretty damn obvious.
Yeah.
Because it would be like having a human just stuck to the back of you.
I thought he was asking if you'd want a host that was bigger, like a storm giant or something.
Oh, I thought he was literally just saying me being bigger. I was like, I don't think that'd work.
Your spider strength would go from a 1 to a 2.
So, well, I think she'd want to evolve though eventually. A way to actually not get bigger. She wants to be a full-on arachne though.
So let's do this. Roll a performance check for me from your host.
You don't get any. Yeah, 10.
Okay.
You don't get any pluses.
So back.
Oh.
Is strength all that you need? Look at me. Do I appear strong to you?
You have power, though.
Power does not always come from strength. What is it that you need to achieve your goals?
I need the wish.
What would you wish for?
The wish for all to be in service of Lolth and for the reign of the spiders and arachnids.
You see is like, oh, it's one of those.
The thing is, you don't have to say this because
Yeah, you could have lied, yeah. Or you could try to lie.
She's proud.
Sure, yeah, no, I get
She
it.
doesn't. I mean, he hasn't been threatening at all. He knew I.
She's an acolyte.
I want to convert everybody. It will be a glorious world as Lolth reigns.
I have read of the cults of Lolth. She is a very inspiring leader. But she demands acts of service. What acts of service have you done?
Killing, sacrifices, torture, mutilation. What's that called? Self-flagration.
Do you think you have caught her attention?
I used to have it.
What would you need to regain her attention?
The death of Freyja. The redeemed drow that sits in a temple of lies.
We met
They're a
her,
nice temple.
we met her yesterday. It didn't go so well.
Yes, I've heard.
Oh boy.
Disgusting, hideous being.
Kind of a cutie.
I think you're on thin ice there, Otter.
I think maybe we should just simmer down.
It's getting higher each time. We're getting close.
My furry companion. And as he touches your shoulder, he casts calm emotions on you.
Thank you.
Can a house spider kill an elephant?
I don't want to answer.
I'm glad I didn't give you riddles, I'm gonna be
I-
honest.
I'm gonna lie.
You gotta go ahead, try.
15. Is that?
That would not be high enough.
So I can't even lie to myself. Because she's just so arrogant.
You're gonna need to hit a. Your
Yeah,
DC
so
is gonna
she's
be an
gonna
18.
say no. With
I mean, if she believes it, is it a lie?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, never underestimate your opponent, no matter what the
like if
size.
she fervently believes that, yeah, a house spider could take down an elephant, it's technically a lie.
Well, obviously, like going back to you saying
because
how...
like I thought I could beat Frisia yesterday.
And, I mean, we found out that that was a lie, but you believed it so much.
It was the truth to Anansi.
Yeah, it was her
No,
truth.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So you could get philosophical about,
Are you familiar with the Tarask?
No.
A Tarask, and he, like, in the middle of this table, he conjures the image of this massive beast. And you're like, I mean, it's only 3 feet tall, right? Like, how could it be that dangerous? And then he says, do you see right here? And he points to like a small little like blip. He's like, this is a normal-sized human for scale. Next to it here is an elephant, and that looks like a little pebble. And Trask is sitting like this high. Do you believe a house spider could kill a Tarask?
That one's too big.
But could a million house spiders kill a Tarask?
Yes.
What is the difference between 1 and a million? If 1 cannot, how can a million?
Overpowering numbers.
Support.
Just the method.
Tactical strategies.
Ah. Yes, strategy. What is your strategy to overcome the Tarask? Your Tarask. This Fiera. And while you're still thinking, he reaches for a cup of juice, and he sits back. As I understand the life of your common drow, it, not much unlike your life has been up to this point, is filled with combat and victories, for if you are not victorious, you die. Yet, they lived considerably, much more like you with your elven history. They live considerably longer. Do you know how long Fiera has been in this city?
No.
She has been here for 80 years now, serving at that temple. How old are you?
Nearing 300.
As I understand it, Fiera was a good 600 years old of drow combat before she started her path to redemption.
Does anybody else at the table think it's weird that a bugbear says they're 300 years old? 'Cause I think that might ping Taylor a little bit. Like, that's not. I don't think that's normal.
Yeah, because I don't think you're familiar with the parasite part.
No, I don't think so.
They don't know.
And I think I would probably just think it's normal. Like, sure, a bugbear lives 300 years old.
Well, I mean,
No, but we did tell you, not that I was a parasite, we did say that I used to be a drow. And I had a potion.
Oh, okay.
Sure, fair enough.
I mean, I would still maybe think it's normal for a bugbear to be 300 years old. Quite honestly, I'm just,
Whatever.
yeah.
well, then it might have been kind of weird me asking her if she wanted to be bigger.
Maybe you got more potions. Who knows?
Yeah.
It just means I need to get stronger in a faster time. It took her to accumulate her strength.
It means you need 1,000,000 bugbears, if I'm following this conversation
Yeah.
correctly.
She doesn't work with people. She's only worked with him. That's it.
Maybe.
Your lessons have not sunk in yet from her being trapped at the bog. I know where we're going. She doesn't like where we're going because you don't learn to trust people in the 300 years of the Underdark.
That is very true.
So she's getting on with Otter.
I'm just happy to be here, so.
But that's also why she wanted to elevate other spiders. That was like one of her original.
Yeah, so are you saying this above the table or
Yeah.
below? Like,
She need no, not she. I am me. above table. We need a way to make more of me from my kindreds that have not been graced by the divinity of law yet.
Now this is starting to make more sense. Can you show us your true form? If you would be so kind.
Do you need help with that?
No, I don't know.
Do I have to hold like the bugbear's body while
Yeah, how do
you
you?
did
No,
that?
No.
If she wants to, she can basically just like crawl out of an eye. And
Oh.
be like, hello.
Take a wave, crawl back in,
Yeah.
rappel down
And
from the nose.
She can pick a spot, as long as she's still in contact.
Just as long as it's an orifice,
Yeah.
you can get out.
The maw just opens like a snake.
You could come out of its butt.
Nah, and then she's there, just chilling.
On the tongue.
Yeah.
I guess that explains a bit.
Yeah.
For the two of you, roll a history or arcana check.
10.
You've never heard of this before.
Looks like
History
Spider-Man.
and Arcana. I mean, I got a 10, 12.
You've
Yeah. 12.
you've seen this kind of spider before?
Okay.
Like there's a couple in the tower, right? Like
But I've never seen them, like, in...
yeah, no.
Like, I didn't know they could possess a body.
That's fucking weird.
Okay. So I've seen, like, the exact spider that she is, that they are, but I just didn't know that they could go inside something and...
Yeah, like you've seen it, but like this one, like it just looks like a spider to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Like-
But to me, I'm like, oh, okay, but I just didn't know
Yeah.
they could climb into
Like
something.
you've actually watched this spider like eat a fly while you were thinking about eating that fly, and you're like that fucking spider.
God
Right.
damn you, yeah. And now I'm like, okay, you can have that fly.
Yeah.
I can find a different one.
Smells good.
It is nice to finally meet you in the true flesh. Let us come back to you in a minute. The reason I have brought you all here today is I have something that needs to be delivered. I have had a commission, and it has taken me many years to complete the magics and apparatus. It needs to be delivered by hand a fair distance away.
Outside of the city?
On halfway around the planet.
Oh, that is outside of the city. By a fair amount.
I need to ensure that its delivery is done safely and without magic. The nature of the incantations on this particular device are attuned and sensitive to the point that should it come in contact with the wrong type of magics, it could be very bad.
So obviously we need to transport this over land. Like doing old school, like
There-
horses or whatnot.
Yes.
Will it, if one of us casts a spell in proximity of it, will it like be unhappy, or can we?
It will be shielded to some level to ensure its safe transport.
But we can't do any magic on it, and we can't magically transport it.
You cannot. It cannot travel by way of magic or be put into magical places.
But we could do magic in the vicinity of it.
You could sit on top of it and cast a spell, and that would not cause a problem.
Okay.
How big is it?
It is, he, again, casts a little prestidigitation, and you see now kind of holographically over where the food is, you see a crate that is about 2 foot by 2.5 foot by like 4 foot. It's the size of a pretty serious chest.
Bigger than a bread basket.
Yeah. But it is... It is, from what you can see, it looks like a closed chest with markings, obscured markings around it. Right? Like you can see that there's writing, but you can't actually read the writing. Like it's something. He's not giving you a complete picture. He's just kind of giving you something
So we'll
mostly detailed.
Need something to, like a little wagon to stick it in or something, right?
A wagon can be provided. Yes.
Okay. Can we get like a donkey to pull the wagon? Or like a horse or something?
If that is the method by which you choose to travel, absolutely. I would be willing to pay anyone in knowledge, artifacts, or cold hard currency, if you so desire. Some upon departure, and some upon arrival by the recipient.
But after we get it to its destination, are we? I mean, I obviously will be coming back to the tower because it's my home. But do you want us all to come back?
Once your task is done, I have, as I see it right now, no further tasks for you.
Okay. So everyone else can go their separate ways, unless we get word from you.
That is correct.
What is the timeline of this?
I have completed, and as soon as we can get it there, that would be appreciated by its recipient.
Is this the kind of thing we have to keep hush-hush, or if somebody asks what our business, can we say, you know, Archmage Lanczos wants us to deliver some...
It would be best for people to not know the contents of this package.
Gotcha.
Can we know the contents of the package, or no? Is it best that we don't?
I can tell you some details if we have enough people to ensure its transport. I would like to ensure that there is always one person with the package at all times. And that is why I need the 4 of you.
Okay.
But I would make it worth your while.
I mean, I will do it because you're my boss. So I obviously will be in to help facilitate this.
Is it within your realm of power to do what I ask of elevating my kindred kind?
Your kindred are not choosing to take this task, nor do I have any guarantees that they will all assist in the task. I would be more than content to assist you in your personal goals. And I have perhaps a few ways to do such a thing.
I look at...
As for the 2 of you, you have not yet stated a desire. What is it that you desire?
Good question.
If I may ask, your payment from this hag,
Mm-hmm.
what does that entail?
Various magic items, stuff like that. There was part of a odd deal between my parents and her when I was born, and I'm trying to understand that. So that's kind of where I'm at. But being definitely the on the uglier side of outcast, of going to adapt to taking on friends who are much like myself, more the outcast or like that. You know,
Calms emotions.
It's kind of like a backhanded compliment almost right there.
right?
Just since my deity's ugly, that I'm an outcast.
I'm not
My
saying-
enemy is hot.
I'm not saying butterface, but
Butterface.
She's so Monet.
But
It's
Yeah.
okay.
let me think about desires. I enjoy the company I have right now. Enjoy your company that I was able to come in and we were able to come in and even have lunch with you in this tower. 'Cause I'm used to stinky swamps and bogs and stuff like that. Underdark.
What would you do with the knowledge of your parents?
Um,
If I were to bring them in here today, what would you do with your parents?
It'd be nice just to meet them, stuff like that. Try to understand their reasoning behind all this. Our existence, all that kind of stuff.
The reason for existence is always problematic. Do you know where they reside?
I do not.
Would that knowledge be beneficial to you? Could I pay you in knowledge?
That'd be good. I like it.
Since I know from our travels, I also kind of indicate like the list of things. Like you can get more.
Oh yeah, the contract that I have with the hag has various things on it here, and you know, if she's already promising to help out with my parents and stuff like that, and you're doing the same, I don't want to double down on the same things. So.
Oh, above table, is that all? Like, she's having you get all of these just for that? For the information? Or is
It's
it...
kind of all over the place.
Okay.
There are, each one is a different piece of information.
Okay. Oh, that's way worse.
Yeah.
That's way worse. You just like give it to us. We had to go through all these tasks to like get clues. Okay, never mind that. This is way better. Yeah, shred that. I gave you my finger for nothing.
Feed it to Clarice.
So do you pull out the contract to show them?
I do, actually.
So you pull it out and you hold it up and you see your contract. Everybody else in the room sees just a limp piece of like dried flesh.
Nice.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's
Push my food away.
yeah, like it's, I mean, it looks like leather, but like it's really questionable, that leather. It doesn't look like cow leather, let's just put it that way.
They haven't lotioned it recently.
No.
Put the lotion on
Push the lotion in the basket or it gets the hose
Lotion on
again.
the skin. Clarice.
It would seem your contract is of a personal nature. How... If it is within my power, I could offer you information for, let us say, certain checkpoints along the way to ensure your continued assistance. Would this be beneficial and or helpful to you?
That is a good question. Again, it sounds more like I'm doubling down on more of the same.
Do you believe the hag will give you all of the information that you need?
To some extent. But it's not a major, a major thing, because as long as I'm starting to understand, I'm starting to be a little more looser as far as do I actually want to meet them and stuff like that, because...
Were you to not meet them, what would you want out of life?
Good question.
I will let you think about that. My little eight-legged friend. I have read that in service of Lolth, one must have a legacy of contribution to her cause. Do you believe the act of killing Fiera would be in and of itself enough to achieve your end goals?
No, it is only the start.
What are the other steps along this path, if I may ask?
Death to all the elves, conversion of the rest of the world to Lolth's divinity, the Underdark overtaking the above ground, and then from there she will be able to become incarnate on the world as we have made it ready and suitable for her. The goals is Artemis.
And I just looked at you
like,
two and I'm all...
Are you familiar with the fall of Lolth?
Would I be familiar? If I was taught in the church, or
Oh,
that would be
you-
blasphemous and they wouldn't have taught
Oh,
that?
no. You know the history
Okay.
of Lolth.
So I'm like, I don't know if that
So,
was considered
The deep reason
Yeah.
why Lolth hates the elves is because,
their deity. It was her lover, wasn't he?
yeah, dude kicked her out.
Yeah.
So, beyond hating the elves, she hates that deity.
Yeah.
Like,
Because we're taking on the elves to get it back at
more
him.
than all the elves,
Yeah.
like hurting him is her higher priority.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of a tough task.
Do you
Godslayer.
Are you familiar with the desecration rites of Lolth for other temples? For the temple of others. Oh yeah, you've heard him preach it. You've dreamt of going in and desecrating a temple.
Well, yeah.
I mean, who
I
hasn't
would-
had that dream?
for a spider, if you could imagine a spider's wet dream, like this is spider wet dream, right? Like this is better than a juicy flower.
Yeah. Because I gotta go to all the temples. This is Legend of Zelda.
Right.
Go destroy all the temples. And then kill Fiera.
You see, like, what looks like a contemplative face. You see a face of just sheer and utter glee.
From Lanczos?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I know of a temple that I could give you directions to that is unguarded, except for by one, which I'm sure may no longer be there, I believe, or if they are there with the ample numbers that you all are, it should not be a problem. Would the location of this temple be of any value to you? I can assure you it has not yet been desecrated.
Yes. But I would need this. I would need this before the journey to ensure that we get there first.
Absolutely.
Is it on the way, this temple? Or do we have to go out of our way? Like, is it on the route to, drop off this crate thing? I'm just trying to plan our...
It is in the general direction that you will be traveling.
Okay. General direction.
At this particular point in time,
Like a fart.
what did you just say?
Oh, sure.
Fart in your general direction.
Like there's a bit of a lull as Lanczos kind of like starts, like you can see him like plotting and calculating like routes and stuff.
Yes.
He reaches for a cup and kind of leans back, partially to digest, as you guys have all been eating for all this time. Like the eating has kind of slowed down, but you do notice that there is another seat at the table that has not yet
Been occupied.
And at that point, you hear the doors like fling open. The light kind of like, just with the natural angle of the day, the light seems to be like shining down, and almost in a comically timed way.
Cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you see the light kind of shine down onto this chair.
Like we would hear, ah,
Yeah.
kind of thing if,
But
yeah.
but there's no ah.
Yeah.
And you hear, motherfucker, and you see on the like in the shadow, like as you all turn to this sound,
Yeah.
you see a skinny gentleman in a long drover. Just the outline. He's kind of like kicking his foot.
Come on, man.
Don't kick the Stanley.
Sorry.
Alright.
So close to my foot. So he's kicking his foot. Yeah, I know, it's not enough. Sorry. I didn't damage the Stanley, did I?
No, we got water on the floor.
I mean, that sounds like a Larry problem anyway,
Yeah.
so.
The floor could probably use a little bit of water on it, honestly. Sorry.
So we hear motherfucker, we all turn.
Yep.
This guy kicking.
Kicking.
Kick somebody's cup over.
Yep.
Exactly. Just going crazy.
And
He
you like,
popped on the table for
and you see him like he's like kicking his foot, and then he's like rubbing it, like looks like he stepped in some shit. Like, well, that's how the day goes. And he just kind of like, without announcing himself or anything, any other thing, just kind of like trounces in, and he says, "Chris, it's been a long time since I've seen you. And you see Lanczos' face light up. Like his whole demeanor kind of melts.
Lanczos' first name is Chris?
You've never heard it before.
No, that's why I'm
I
asking.
know. You don't know. He comes in and he just kind of like comes up to the table and he like flops himself down on this chair with such force that the table kind of like bumps, right? And he reaches out with like this street-worn and dusty hand, right? Like he's clearly has not washed his hand. Like you just kind of see from the way that he's coming in, like the guy has just has ridden hard into town, right?
He's a dirty, dusty motherfucker.
Yeah. But like he just grabs from some food and he just kind of like starts throwing it in his mouth, like he's hungry, right? Between like mouthfuls of food, with the table manners of a hungry hog, you hear him say, we lost an axle last night and the whole day has gone to shit." Food dripping out of his mouth as he's eating. "Chris, how have you been?"
Yeah, that's the other thing.
How did that end up under my
You
seat?
kicked it with
Okay.
your foot.
Well, luckily that one had a lid on it.
Exactly.
And that's the heater. My feet do not have enough room right now. And Lanczos says, "And almost on time. Kenny, it's good to see you." And they break into conversation as if you guys weren't even there.
Okay.
"Chris, what did you bring me in here for? It's good to see you and all, but it's been a long time." "Kenny, I have you missed a bit there. Yeah, I have need of your services." "Oh yeah, what could I do for you, Chris?" My friends here need a traveling party. Would you be so kind as to introduce them to your troupe?" Sure, anything for you." "Can they do anything, or are they just a piece of shit new people like you used to be?" "Oh, the topic hasn't come up."
If we're useful or not?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Well, you see this one here. They're a really good cook. This one here, good with a sword. These two, I think you know where they belong. He looks like around the table. He's like, and seeing you hold that up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where they belong." Yeah, I think we can make this work. We'll be setting up for the rest of the day. Have them stop by shortly after sunset. I believe I can do that. Where is K.C.? K.C., he saw somebody stealing some steaks, and you know how he is about the steaks. Yes. I hope he finds a good one. Yeah. I hope he manages to get it eaten. And he, like, picks up some food. "Well, I gotta go. I'll stop by later. We gotta... Johnny's fucking Johnny. He keeps... Anyways, you know about Johnny." And he walks out the door. and just like with all of that like hubbubaloo, the door slams again, and you find yourselves back again in the quietness of the room. Do we have an agreement then?
Was that a mercenary or something?
Is it a circus?
Is that Magic Mike?
It was Kenny.
Magic Kenny.
Kenny is
G.
not very magical.
Can he play a saxophone?
What's those ladies?
Kenny does like the ladies, but he is not very good on a sax.
All right, well.
It is you could call it a troop of mercenaries, or you could call it a circus. I call it Blue Creek.
Blue Creek?
Blue Creek. With a little bit of negotiation, I can arrange for you to have a cover story for your travels. Again, this endeavor must be done with discretion, and I will be paying you for your discretion.
We're not going to tell them about the chest, though, are we? Or do they get to know about the chest?
You do not want to tell them about the chest.
Okay.
But I'm sure we can all come to an agreement on how to proceed forward. What type of a number would make you happy?
That platinum piece you gave me last time was a nice start, let's say.
How many of such pieces would you need?
Okay, above table, because I don't know D&D economy.
What?
Are you gonna
No, I'm
Are you gonna
sorry.
send your kids to
Get
college?
out of town.
Should you make a college
Alright.
fund?
Yeah,
What would set
D&D
somebody
economy
It's
is
very
not really
loose.
a
I
thing.
mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like 1 gold for like a year of a commoner.
Yeah.
So, or what do we say?
Adventures
Platinum
that
into
play
like
has
U.S.
to lose.
dollars, so we can have a better. What are we talking about?
Like $100?
Yeah, like an inflation rates, like $20 in
a
1920 or.
one bar of platinum is like $10,000.
So in your world, what would get someone set for life?
Yeah, how many platinum bars? How many Ks are we
Well, if
talking
it's
about?
10,000.
If
Then-
you had,
Depends on what housing costs are, I guess. In the.
I would
How
say
many?
20 platinum bars.
Damn.
That would be enough for you to retire on comfortably.
But just you.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I'm not like.
I mean,
poor.
you've been
don't-
sending money back for years,
Right.
right?
Do you make interest in the bank though? Are we like? Is there interest that you can accrue?
Yes, usually.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Hopefully the
And you've
family
probably been
because
hoarding
the-
like
most-
other
most-
valuable things that aren't money.
Most middle, like
Got some
those
nice
banks, right? They make money the same way that modern banks do by
Oh, okay.
lending, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. But so you
lending
would.
with interest. The
So if you stuck 20, like let's say $50,000 in this bank, you would accrue interest on that 50,000, right?
effectively.
Yeah.
The same way the banks do today, right? Like
Yeah,
the bank accrues way more interest on it than you do, but yeah,
But you still get.
right.
Yeah.
At a certain point of wealth, you end up being a lender,
Yeah.
right? And so,
His next job is loan shark.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
At-
Or a
at-
bookie or something.
at
Gotta keep
20
busy during
at 20
retirement.
bars of platinum, you would have enough money to be a loan shark. Yes,
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's my new career goal.
like what it would be, probably 5 or 6 bars would buy you a ship.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you could be a literal loan shark. Going out
Yes.
on the water.
Ooh.
Yes. Like it is a kingly amount of money.
Okay. I don't want to be like
Greedy.
ostentatious, right?
But that said, magical artifacts can be expensive, right? Like,
Sure.
so much like a Mona Lisa, right? Like if you have a one-of-a-kind magical artifact,
You could sell it or use it.
Sure.
like that. It's at the level of wealth that you're talking about, right? Like sometimes it's one of those things where, especially when it comes to magical items, like a ring of protection, let's say, it's a more common thing, but it would be a lot like somebody having a Porsche, right? Like,
Why don't you do
people-
a combo? Do a little bit of money,
I'm
do a little bit
thinking,
of little bit of magical artifact, then cover all your
Yeah.
bases.
How about
So you can.
No, I have it. I'm just trying to think how to word it. 5 platinum bars at the start, 5 upon delivery, and maybe another item from your magical collection to aid in the journey.
That is a fair price. Just ignoring you completely.
Yeah, I mean,
How about the two of you,
don't mind me.
my little friend? If I gave you directions to a couple of temples, would that be enough of an incentive for you?
How many temples would we think there are?
You know, I believe
I
on
won't
your
kick.
list
Yeah,
of,
you respect
on your
it.
backstory, I
Yeah.
believe you have 7.
Okay, it was like Legend of Zelda was 7 temples. Okay, so
Yeah, I think that
couple-
was just by sheer
Yeah.
accident. Yeah.
Is each of them gonna have a magic item that you collect?
There was 5 in Malia,
Yeah.
and then 2 in other locations.
I would like the list of the temples, and I need a new host. More beneficial to this journey than a bugbear.
I believe we can arrange something like that. Does it need to be a new host, or could it be the same host with a new look?
Same host with a new look.
Okay. I believe that we can achieve that. And for you, my friend,
Clarice and I would like to talk about it. We were very interested. Can we talk about it and get back with you in the morning?
I will need an answer by midday.
Sounds good.
That's like 2 hours from now.
Did you want us to leave tonight, right?
We would finish making our preparations, and I would deliver you to your troop, to Blue Creek, this afternoon, at which time our official communications, or you would deliver them to Blue Creek, at which time you would not communicate with me openly again until delivery has been completed.
So I'll talk with Clarice. We're going to write down some things and get back with you.
Guil, come with me, please, for a minute.
Okay.
And as you kind of stand up, Beatrice, can you please bring in some cakes for our guests? And you hear again, like in this off door, you hear the plates clatter, and Beatrice rushes out,
yeah.
not knowing what the fuck's going on. Okay, and just starts running around. He takes you back into one of his laboratory spaces.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a combination of laboratory and library.
Okay.
You've seen him working in this room before. You don't he goes in this particular room and you're never invited in, right? So you've seen you get kind of to the door and he stops you.
And then I just,
right?
I just kind of leave
He
him alone.
gives
Yeah,
you directions. But you've seen him working on something in on the table.
Okay.
And it is there sitting on the table, and you see now the parts of this contraption.
This is the chest thing that we're going to deliver.
You clearly understand this
Okay.
to be the
Yep.
chest. You see a wooden crate that has along the metal bands. You can see magic, so the metal it's not smooth. It's literally carved in. and it appears that there has been like something applied inside those grooves, right? Like, but there's no magic there. Like it's just
So it's a carving of like whatever, and then he like basically put like an inlay in it, like a
yes.
Okay.
But
Like paint or something.
Yeah, the sigils haven't been activated yet.
Okay, but they are sigils. Okay.
Yep. And it like goes all the way around the bands from what you can see. Like you intuit that the metal band that with the lock, like each one has its own sigil. You see that there is like a sigil over the whole thing. You see that the lock on it is like massive and deep, right? Like some of these pieces like you had retrieved, right? And so like, I mean, you just randomly retrieving shit, like you don't really pay that much attention.
Mm-hmm.
But like seeing it now, like in this context, you're like, that lock is complicated, right? Like you see it and you're like, Jesus. And so on the table is this disturbing looking black undulating rock that, though it is black, gives off like radiant northern lights style light rays.
Okay.
Kind of in that like 2 to 3 foot vicinity, right? Like it's got like these little rays of light that
Like it's around it. It's not in. Is it in like the reflection of the rock, or is it around the rock?
So the rock is like yay big.
Yeah.
There is a like metal contraption that is holding it.
Okay.
And then around that metal contraption, you see these light rays just kind of dancing.
Okay, so it's on the outside of the crate.
So
it's rock.
This contraption is outside the crate. The lights are outside of this contraption, but the whole thing looks like it goes inside the crate.
Okay, but is the rock inside the contraption then?
The rock is like housed inside the contraption.
Okay. Copy that.
And this one has so many sigils. It has what appears to be like gears on the edges, right? You see, like you remember picking up like some of these parts, like some of them were really heavy, some of them were really large, but like super light and intricate. There's a number of like tinkerers and artificers that you have been going to over the course of the last like 3 to 5 years, like gathering this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, and it doesn't really leave anything to the imagination of what it is he's asking you to transport.
Okay.
This room is far enough down the hall that you guys can't see into it, and it like you go in and you have to like turn around a couple of bookshelves to get to where she's at. So like even anybody walking by would not like see this back there.
Okay.
He reaches to the shelf and pulls out a tome and says, "Take this." And he just kind of like throws it, like pushes it into you.
Okay.
And like he kind of like tilts some stuff back and he pulls out a little book and this. And he like kind of goes around the corner and there's a like box of like papers tubes that have been there. He kind of looks through it and he's like, "Take this one," and he like kind of just tosses it at you. It's a smaller, like I don't know, 8.5 by like 14 scroll with like a wood bar on it, like to be pulled open. And where did that new one go? He's looking around. He's like, yes, and kind of like set like on the counter, like where it had been placed, like kind of just like kind of like how you drop your keys. Like you walked in, it's like, I don't want this in my hands, and he just put it on the counter. Like it's right there.
Okay.
And that is this.
Tough name.
May I?
Yeah, you can. says, here's a map. This might help you, at least on the first leg of your journey. The big tome that I gave you, that is for your long-term education.
Okay.
That should help you learn about potions. The little scroll that I gave you is a spell that I believe you would be capable of learning. And this little book contains a few rituals that you should, even with your rudimentary understanding, be capable of performing.
Okay. Thank you.
It has been interesting with you in my company. I do not. These are interesting times. I do not know that the city will be here
Will I
when we
get
return.
back? Are you afraid
I
that
believe I have given you enough to take care of yourself, and I hope for your well-being. And as he does that, he reaches out to shake your hand. But in the palm of his hand is a ring. And he says, take this. May it guide you on your, may it protect you on your journey. Please see to our guests. And then kind of turns in that same way that is like okay, it's
I'm
time
done
for
with you, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't ask him any questions. Just like, skedaddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell from his tone that like he is way more pensive and like dreadful of the future.